What's up guys, it's Matteo from Conquered Leads here, and this is how to create a cold email infrastructure that books 30 to 40 sales calls per month from steps 1 to 100. So let's get straight into it. Why should you read this document? So cold email is the most basic form of outreach. Everyone has an email. Just like in sports, the best players master the basics before they do the advanced stuff. So in online business, the basics is cold outreach and the advanced stuff is paid ads and inbound leads. Think about it. If a good basketball player can dunk, which is an advanced move, he has most likely mastered the basics of passing, shooting, and defending. So even if you're spending millions of dollars in ads, there's no reason why you should not be running a cold email system. So, step 1, understanding cold email. What is cold email? At its core, cold email is the practice of sending emails to prospects without prior interaction or consent. These prospects have not subscribed to your email list or expressed direct interest in your services or products. The challenge in the art of cold email lies in initiating a conversation and building a relationship from a cold start, as you can see here. So, why is cold email effective? 1, direct and personalized communication. Cold email allows for a direct line of communication with your target audience. Personalizing your messages to address the prospect's specific needs or interests significantly increases the likelihood of engagement. Number 2 is a cost-effective lead generation. So compared to traditional advertising or outbound marketing strategies, cold email is remarkably cost-effective. It requires minimal investment while offering the potential for substantial returns in the form of new leads and customers. It is measurable and scalable, so the impact of cold email campaigns can be directly measured through open rates, response rates, and conversion rates. This allows for continuous optimization and scaling, making it easier to adjust your strategy based on what works best. Number 4 is speed and efficiency. So cold email campaigns can be launched quickly and reach a large number of potential leads in a short period. This speed enables rapid testing of different approaches and messages to find the most effective way to connect with your audience. So as you can see here, here's a quick graphic of all of this in summary. So what a cold email infrastructure can do for your business. Cold email is not free unless you want to send 10 emails per day, all manually. Time is money. To do cold email properly at scale, there are some monthly tech costs. So tech costs, depending on how many emails you want to send, for domains around $10 each. Email accounts around $8 each. A lead list is $179 for every 5,000 prospects, and a sending tool is around $97 a month. Obviously, if you have other backend tools like CRMs, automations, that costs more. So are you going to take the red pill or the blue pill? The red pill being a couple $100s a month for 30 extra sales calls a month, or do you want to take the blue pill where you save a couple $100s and stay where you're currently at with no form of cold outreach? So which pill are you going to take? I hope it's the red pill. But yeah, if you can't afford a couple $100s a month to run a profitable cold email system that generates sales calls and clients, you should probably stick to cold DMs or cold calls where you're doing stuff manually. So what is at risk by not taking action? So unless you are booking 100 plus sales calls per month using cold email, you should read this document. So this is important because you are potentially losing out on multiple clients every month, leading to money lost in your bank account. Even if you are booking 100 plus sales calls through other methods, cold email is the only outreach method that directly reaches the decision makers of the business every single time, without fail. You don't want your competitors to steal your ideal clients from you just because you were lazy and couldn't be bothered setting up and managing a cold email system. So yeah, this person can't be fucked setting this up. It's too expensive, and the Chad likes money and will do whatever it takes to sign more of his ideal clients. So here are my socials. So step 2 is setting up domains and emails. So why do you need to purchase separate domains? Using separate domains for cold email protects your primary domain from potential blacklisting by email service providers due to a higher volume and risk associated with cold outreach. So this ensures your regular business communication remains unaffected. If you buy one domain and it gets burnt due to mark that spam, that's your whole outreach system down the drain, as well as whatever you're doing with your clients if that's your main domain. Cold email is a numbers game, so since you're limited to 40 to 50 emails per day before a domain gets flagged, you should use this calculator to decide how many domains you should buy. So, number of emails you want to send per day, including follow-up, divided by 50 emails per domain per day. So if you want to send 1,000 emails per day, you divide it by 50 emails per day, you need to buy 20 domains. Simple math right there. Now, purchasing domain names. So you need to select domain names that are closely related to your main domain by adding prefixes and suffixes. For instance, if your main domain is example.com, you should choose variations like examplemail.com or getexample.com. This helps in keeping your cold emails recognizable to your audience. So the best practices for purchasing domain names are to only use .com domains, so no .io, no .net. Don't even put a country code in there after .com. You just want .com. You don't want to use numbers or symbols, so you don't want to use example1.com or example-mail.com because it's a lower the deliverability. And the last thing is you want to include your main domain. So if my domain is example.com, I want to include it somewhere or make it super recognizable by either adding a word before or a word after or playing with variations of the name itself. So here's a ChatGPT prompt to never run out of domain names. So you need to create a list of number of domains you want, different variations of the following website domain, but only use .com domains, only add prefixes and suffixes before the domain, do not use numbers or symbols, do not use the same domain twice. So here is creating a list of 50 different variations of my domain, Conquered Leads, and here's the output. So any of these would be fine to use for your cold email outreach. So where would you buy domains? This really doesn't matter, so you shouldn't overthink this part. Some people like GoDaddy, Squarespace, but we prefer Porkbun. And why? Because it looks cleaner, it's easy and simple to use. The DNS records update instantly in real time. So, whenever you're verifying a DNS record, it literally updates instantly. It's insane. And it is cheaper than most. Obviously, there are other cheaper options, but this is just what we like to use. However, we strongly suggest not to use Namecheap because they have blacklisted domains when you buy from their hosting service. So, setting up email accounts for each domain, you want to create specific email addresses that will be exclusively used for cold email. So you want to buy 2 email accounts per domain. And in terms of best practices, your 2 usernames should be the exact same for each of your domains. You want to use your first name as one of the usernames and a nickname for your second username. Obviously, you can do a first name, last name, but if you make it look like a first name, it just looks a lot better. Try not to use your first name plus last name, because we want to avoid long usernames as well. And we want to obviously avoid any numbers or symbols. So, for example, my usernames are Matteo and Matt. No one actually calls me Matt in real life, but I'm just using it for the sake of the username. And this is kind of how it should look like once you set it up. So here are your domains, and here are your email usernames. So, so in terms of email service provider, until October 2023, we were using Gmail because it's the most relevant and easy to use, until they released a spam update and have more issues than ever. So here they have more guidelines and you're more likely to get banned. So for that reason, we'll be using Outlook Workspace for our email service provider. In order to do that, you want to create a Microsoft admin account, buy a Business Basic account, enter details and pay, add domains to your main admin account, and then go to users, active users, add multiple users, and then type in the 2 usernames for each of your connected domains, and then buy the users. So it's pretty simple to do on Microsoft itself. So I'm not making a tutorial on that, but I have it written. So in terms of DNS records, you want to do SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. So steps to set up SPF, you want to go to Porkbun, account domain management, select all domains, bulk manage, because you can do that in Porkbun. And then you want to go on domains, DNS records, and then add a new record. So here's an example for try Conquered Leads, one of my domains, and you want this answer here. So it's pretty simple. This is the host, and then the answer and the TTL. Very simple. So next is DKIM. So DKIM adds a digital signature to every email sent from your domain. This signature is verified against a public cryptographic key in your DNS records, ensuring that emails haven't been tampered with in transit. So you will have to update these one by one. It's boring and tedious, but it is necessary for optimal deliverability. So steps to set up DKIM is the exact same way to get your DNS records. However, it's a CNAME record, and then you want selector1 underscore domain key, and then this here for the answer. Obviously, you put your domain, and then you put your Microsoft admin account. But yeah, Microsoft have a pretty good tutorial on how to do this. I'm just showing you how to do it here, and you have to do it twice. Yeah, for selector1 and selector2 domain keys, as you can see here. That's how it should look like once you've added the records. So the next thing you want is DMARC. So domain-based message authentication, reporting, and conformance. So DMARC uses SPF and DKIM to provide instructions to the receiving mail server on what to do if neither of those authentication methods passes. So it also reports back to the sender about messages that pass and or fail the DMARC evaluation. So steps to set up DMARC, the exact same thing. However, you want the RUA mail to be your email account, wherever you want the reports to be. So username at whatever your Microsoft admin is. So you type in, if your name is John, and then your Microsoft admin, it'll be John at, let's say, marketing.com. And that's how it should look like, because this is my Microsoft admin and my username. So Matteo at concreteleads.onmicrosoft.com. Cool. So when you implement these DNS records, most email service providers offer detailed guides on how to set up these records. So you want to follow the guides closely to ensure correct implementation. Obviously, I showed you how to do it on Outlook, but it's going to be a bit different for Gmail. Also, I used Porkbon, so if you use GoDaddy, it'd be a bit different as well. So after setting up SPF, DKIM, and DMARC, you want to use tools like Inboxy to verify that they are correctly implemented. So this can help you catch and rectify any issues before you start your cold email campaigns. So keep an eye out of the performance and deliverability of your emails. Make adjustments to the SPF, DKIM, and DMARC settings because they might be necessary adjustments over time due to changes in email policies or your own email strategies, depending on what you're doing. So yeah, here's a person who can't be bothered setting up DNS records. Email lands in spam, domain gets blacklisted, you have to buy more domains, and you have to wait another 2 weeks for warm-up. Whereas the person who sets up DNS records, no matter how boring they are, they always land in inbox, keep his domains forever, doesn't need to spend more money on infrastructure and booked sales calls, and signs clients effortlessly. So the last thing you want to do is URL forwarding. So when somebody sees your email, the first thing they want to look at is your domain that sent the email. So for example, if a prospect sees that I emailed them from Matteo at tryconcreteleads.com, they will copy and paste tryconcreteleads.com into their search browser. So if nothing comes up, they will mark as spam and move on. That's why it's crucial to have URL forwarding. So basically what it is if someone searches up tryconcreteleads.com, it literally redirects to my main domain, which is concreteleads.com. They see my landing page, my video sales letter, all my case studies, all my training videos, and it just looks more legit. So steps to do it is the exact same on Porkbon. You want to bulk manage and then click URL forwarding, leave hostname blank, and type your main website in forward traffic to, as you can see here. GoDaddy would have a similar process. So the very last thing you need to do is add a profile picture to your Outlook accounts, because from my experience, adding a profile picture makes a noticeable improvement when it comes to cold email. Since we're using Outlook, your profile picture will only show to those Outlook accounts, which is around 35 to 45% of the prospects you do cold email. But if they're using any other service provider like Google or Yahoo, the profile picture won't show. But having this profile picture could be the icing on the cake for a prospect to categorize your email as not spam. So I do always recommend doing it. So, if you send 1,000 emails and half of them get to see that that you have a profile picture and the other half don't, who do you think is more likely to, be interested in your services, right? So yeah, steps for adding a profile picture. You need to log into Microsoft Workspace admin panel, go to users, active users, and then select email account, and then change photo and literally upload your profile picture. Similar how you would be doing it for your own personal emails. So yeah, this person, that's me with a profile picture. He has a profile picture, so he must be legit, is the prospect. Cool. So step 3 is scraping and verifying an email list. So, now that you've got your email accounts and your domains, you want to scrape a list to outreach to. So you want to, before you do this, you want to identify your ideal client profile, which is number 1, understanding your audience. You have to analyze your existing customer base to identify common characteristics and pain points. You want to look for patterns in location, industry, company size, job title, number of employees, keywords, and technologies used. And then number 2 is creating ICP segments. So you want to segment your ICP based on specific attributes or challenges. This allows for more personalized and targeted email campaigns, increasing the relevance and effectiveness of your messages. So number 3 is research and validation. So use tools like LinkedIn, industry reports, and your own network to validate your ICP assumptions. The more you understand your ICP, the better you can tailor your messaging to meet their needs. So in terms of ideal client profile, here are the typical categories you want to define. So location, where are your ideal clients located? What industry are they in? What is their job title, whether that's founder, owner, CEO, marketing manager? The company size, technologies used. And obviously for company size, we can do that by determining the number of employees that our ideal client profile would have in their company. And industry, we can further filter that down through keywords. So the scraping tool we want to use is Apollo.io because it's where you can get email addresses of leads in your ICP, and you can build a very targeted list for a decently cheap price. You can scrape leads using the criteria to define your ICP directly from the site. So this is how it looks like. Founder, owner, CEO in the United States, they already have 2 million of those emails. So it's a huge database, and you definitely want to leverage that. The verifying tool we use is Million Verifier. So you want to verify the emails you've scraped because, you get good emails, bad emails, and risky emails. Good emails are the ones you want to use. Risky, only some of them are good, so you have to further filter that down, which I'll go through in a sec. But essentially, with Million Verifier, you can verify thousands of emails at a very cheap price. And with the risky emails, you'll either get a catch-all, which means the email server is set to accept an email, but sometimes bounces, and then unknown, so we can't tell if the email exists or not. This is how a Million Verifier report would look like. So, I sent about 2,000 emails to get verified here. Only 800 were deemed as good, and around 1.9K were risky. Here's a bigger list that I exported. 3,000 were good, and so on and so forth. You never want to use the bad emails. So here's a graph or diagram that shows this better. So you get good, bad emails are okay to use, and then for good, we want to use that because they're okay to use, and then bad emails we don't want to use. Okay to use, we can verify the catch-alls, and if the good ones from the catch-alls come through, we want to use those, and we don't want to use the bad ones, obviously. So to verify the catch-alls, basically what a catch-all is an email account with an address that is specified to receive all messages that are addressed to an incorrect email address for a domain. So this means it can still bounce. So to increase our lead list with valid emails, we would need to verify these catch-alls. So there are 2 ways to do this. One is the Google People Chips methods, which find people with valid Google email accounts via Google Sheets. Here's a quick video on how to do that because this guy explains it better than me. And you can use tools like Scrubby.io or Listmint to send emails to those catch-alls to check whether they bounce or not. So basically, these are services where they will actually manually send the emails themselves and tell you whether it bounces or not. So yeah. So The other thing we can do is, if you can't be bothered doing Apollo lists and then verifying through Million Verifier and then further verifying the catch-alls, what you can do is just use listkit.io. So listkit serves basically the same function as Apollo, except it triple verifies the leads with a click of a button. So you don't have to spend the time to validate your emails on Million Verifier, and you don't have to validate your catch-alls on Scrubby or Listmint or Google People Chips. So you can export a list of verified emails in literally just minutes. On top of this, they've recently added phone numbers on the database, which is very convenient when you want to warm call leads. So, listkit is a bit more expensive than Apollo, but you pay for what you get, and it saves you all that hassle of trying to verify the list. Here's how it kind of looks like, very similar to Apollo, but it's triple verified leads. Cool. So step 3 is crafting your cold email strategy. So first of all, we want to have a good subject line. So your subject line is the first impression. You want to make it clear, intriguing, and relevant to the prospect. You want to avoid spammy words that trigger email filters. You want personalization, such as including the prospect's name or company name, because it increases open rates. And here are some subject lines to test. Quick question, first name question, your thoughts, first name question mark, question for first name, thoughts, connection, area link. So, here is a prospect reading a good subject line. They're like, cool, let me open this email. This sounds interesting. Or, oh, what's this? Because they're intrigued or at least curious. And if it's a really bad subject line, like a very long one, pitching you the service, then, this is how your prospects will look like. So in terms of your actual body, you want to start off with the opening line. So you want to start your email with a statement that grabs attention and relates directly to the person or business. So personalization plays a key role here, because it shows that you've done your homework, and that can make the biggest difference in the world. You wouldn't even know. So for example, for opening lines, this is a cold email that can help company name get X result. I'm going to cut the BS and get straight to the point. This is a cold email trying to sell you something that would help your industry business. Noticed you're the job title of company name and wanted to reach out. Came across company name's website doing research and thought I'd send you an email. Very simple right there, but it really depends on the niche, and really depends on your list as well. So, I have banger opening lines. These are the type of responses you get from people when they open your email. He wrote this email specifically for me. This guy seems genuine. Finally, not a spammer for once. He took the time to write this for me. He's actually trying to help. So, the next thing you want to do is have your value proposition, which is to clearly articulate how your product or service can solve the prospect's problem or improve their situation. So you want to be concise and focus on benefits rather than features. So you can use offers, pain points, or both for your value prop. Solve the prospect's problem. Don't focus on features too much, and you want to use offers and pain points. Your offer should include who you help, the result you can get them, time frame you can get that result, unique mechanism, and risk reversal. Obviously, your offer can actually be one of these, or it doesn't have to be all of them, but this is a good baseline to start. So here's the template. We help niche get result in time frame using unique mechanism with risk reversal. So mine is, we help marketing agencies get 5 to 10 sales calls per month using our lead conquer system on a pay after show basis. And we want to use Alex Hormozi's value equation to help this, which is the dream outcome times perceived likelihood of achievement divided by time delay times effort and sacrifice. Cool. So the next we want in our script is a pain point. So we want to mention our client's ideal pain points, because it's just as good as shoving the offer down their throat. Most people get motivated by pain over benefit. For example, most successful entrepreneurs made their business work and they became successful because they simply had no other choice. They had to roll a dice and hit a 6, or they would be homeless. Are you more willing to make $1 million if you were going to die because you need to pay for your medical bills? Or are you more willing to make $1 million to buy a private jet, for an example? It's the pain. that you're more motivated for. So an example pain point here is saw your ad on the Facebook ad library and noticed you're overpaying for shared leads. So this would trigger the prospect's realization that they are completely screwed and they must make a change now if they want to stop overpaying for shared leads, because it's a problem clearly. So yeah, here's a graphic showing this. Are you experiencing pain? Yes, I didn't realize. We can help. Yes, please. I am fucked if you don't help. That's what we want to do with our pain points. So next is social proof. We want to include a brief example or case study that demonstrates how we've helped similar companies or individuals. So this builds credibility and trust. So here's an example. We recently helped Acquisition.com, a company like yours, generate 20 sales calls last month, which resulted in 5 new clients and 100K in revenue. So, if you didn't have social proof, this is what your prospect would say. Does he have credentials? Where's his evidence? Can he walk the walk? So the best practices for including case studies in your email scripts is you want to make it short and straight to the point. You want to actually name the company you helped. You don't want to say, we helped this e-com brand. You actually want to name the company so prospects can do their own research. You want to have a tangible money result, not sales calls, not leads, not pipeline value, not views or clicks. We want a tangible money result. We also want to have a time frame, and we want to make sure they are relevant to your prospect. So the last thing we want is a call to action. So we want to end our email with a clear, compelling CTA, whether it's scheduling a call, signing up for a demo, or simply replying to the email. Make sure it's easy for the receiver to take the next step. So you should always A/B/C/D test these CTAs to find out which one you get the best results with. But free work will always get the most replies rather than book a call. But yeah, you're trading your time and effort for free work. But yeah, booking a call is the end goal at the end of the day. So it really comes to testing. So yeah, if you don't have a CTA, your prospects will ask, why are you giving me this offer and pain point? Like, what should we do from here? Right? You want a CTA. So yeah, the 4 different types of CTAs to use is 1, book a call, 2 is send more info, 3 is a personalized video, and 4 is free work. So as you go from 1 to 4, you should realize that there is less sales resistance. Obviously, doing free work, you're trading your time, and it's a lot harder to fulfill. Whereas book a call is quick and easy. You can just send them to a calendar link and book a call. And as you move up, there's less sales resistance. So you want to test out all of these, but the end goal is obviously to book a call. So step 4 is launching campaigns. For this, we want to use the right tool, which is smartlead.ai. You can use Instantly, but from what we found, Smartlead is just a lot cleaner to use and it has better deliverability. So efficient management and execution of cold email campaigns hinge on leveraging the right set of tools, from automating emails sequences to tracking campaign performance and improving deliverability. The technology you can choose can significantly impact the success of your cold email outreach efforts. The best tool, that we found is Smartlead. So the features for Smartlead is you can have automated email sequences, you can A/B test, unlimited mailboxes, unlimited campaigns, unlimited warm-ups, auto mailbox rotation. You can have a master inbox, automated subsequences, multi-channel outreach, and advanced integrations. So here's what Smartlead looks like. So setting up your email accounts in Smartlead, you want to connect your email accounts through the Outlook authentication. You don't want to use SMTP. You have to do this manually. It's boring work, but it must be done. You can easily outsource this to a VA, but yeah, I'm not including a tutorial on how to get those connected because Smartlead make it super easy to do so, but it should look something like this when you have them all connected. So the email account settings you want in Smartlead. So we want to select all email accounts and bulk updates so we don't have to configure the settings of each email account one by one. We need to send a maximum number of emails per day with a minimum time gap between these emails to make it look like a real person. So on top of this, we will need a signature that identifies who we are, but at the same time maximizes our deliverability. So Steps for email account settings, we want to bulk update everything, so you don't want to do it one by one. Messages per day, we want 20 and a minimum time gap of 7. The signature template is we want a dash in between whatever your ending email line is. Usually it'll be like thanks or best, comma, and then you want the dash, your first name, your last name, and then your job title followed by your company name. So as you can see, this is my signature. Literally just copy and paste it. Next, we want to set up custom domain tracking. So it's very important, as it can potentially boost your deliverability by over 20%. And it's a DNS record, CNAME DNS record that you need to put into Porkbon or GoDaddy or whatever you're using. So these are the DNS record answers you have to fill in. And on Smartly, you type email tracking.domain. So if I was doing it for concreteleads.com, that's how it would look like. And then you check status and see if it's verified. Next, you want to do is warm up your domains. So it involves sending email accounts from a new domain at a low volume initially and gradually increase the number over time. So this process helps email service providers recognize your domain as a legitimate sender rather than a source of spam. So it's similar to building a credit score. You start small, prove your reliability, and then gradually earn the trust to handle more significant volumes of cold email. So, if you have no warm up, all these email service providers here will be like, oh, this seems sus. This must be an AI bot, which is against our terms of service. And these emails seem automated. Let's ban this guy. Whereas if you warm up, looks like a legit person, and you have no reason to get banned. So the steps for warming up domains is it's different settings before we launch our campaign and after. So the reason for this is because we send 20 cold emails per day per account. So it will look sus if one day it changes drastically. We want to look like a real person the whole time while warming up and after. So it is crucial that we minimize the volume of our warm-up emails. We want to make sure to bulk update so you don't have to configure settings of each email account one by one. So before campaign launch settings, you want active 40 emails per day, and then ramp up by 4. Randomized number of warm-up emails per day, 30 to 40. Reply rate of 45%. And then once you do launch your campaigns after the 2-week warm-up period, then you just change that to 20. And then we want the 80% reply rate, randomized 15 to 20. This is how it should look like. So in terms of spin tax, the goal here is to improve the deliverability and avoid spam pockets. So sending different versions of the same text prompts email service providers into thinking you're sending the same email, a different email to different people versus the same email to 1,000 people. In effect, not treating it as a mass cold email. So, if you sent the exact same scripts to 1,000 people, the email service providers are going to catch that really quickly. So the trick is to use spin tax to make them think that you're sending emails manually with genuine intention and really looking to engage in conversation. So, spin tax allows for that, as even though a percentage of the email will be the same, having micro copy differences, improving the deliverability of your email with zero or minimal effort. The other advantage is you get to see which copywriting format is converting the best for your audience for free. So for starters, you want to use spin tax on greetings and farewells. So this is how spin tax looks like from the email service provider's view. If you have no spin tax, he sends the same email to thousands of other people. Let's ban him. This guy sends thousands of manual emails, which is completely illegal. So here's a ChatGPT prompt to generate spin tax. So you want to use this format for Smart Lead when you do make your spin tax, and use so you'll get a result like this. So when you type this into your cold email script in Smart Lead, it will just rotate between hello, hi, hey, greetings, and salutations. So the next part is an unsubscribe link, which we don't want. we actually don't recommend to do it. And the reason for that is it is a link which does affect deliverability. And to be compliant with CAN spam laws, there's a way around this. You simply want to add an unsubscribe message at the end of your emails because it works the exact same way. You can add something like reply and I'll stop sending you more emails. So this not only gets people to unsubscribe through replying, but it also improves deliverability since people are literally replying to the emails. So, having an unsubscribe text instead of an unsubscribe link, it's compliant. It's not the actual link. It improves deliverability, gets people to reply, and also improves deliverability. So when you actually create the campaign, once we are done with the 14 warm-up phase, we can launch it. Smart Lead will tell you once your email accounts are done with the warm-up phase, and there are a lot of settings that has worked best for us, for our clients, so I'll just run through that now. Steps to create the campaign. So, we want to name it as specific as possible so you can identify it later on. You want to import the lead list that you exported through Apollo and cleaned. Or if you're using ListKit, you want to export that straight away. Import that. And you want to set up sequences. So we want to send a total of 3 emails, A/B testing all of them. Email 1, we wait 4 days. Email 2, we wait 5 days. And then you have email 3. So anything more than that is kind of spammy, and if someone doesn't respond to your email after 3 times, they're probably not interested. And what we can actually do later on is recycle those leads 3 months later. So each email copy should start with a greeting, have the body, which is the actual script that we just made, and then a farewell message, and then your signature, and then your unsubscribe message. So here's how that kind of looks like. Cool. So in terms of the actual setup, we want to select all our sender accounts, choose time zone, send Monday to Friday, because we don't want to do weekends. Time period between the sequences, we want 9:03 to 18:07, which is 6:07 p.m. Just because we don't want it to end on the exact zeros, because potentially in the 1 in 100 chance that the ESPs find out that this is automated. Anyway, we want an email to be sent every 7 minutes, and then set campaign start date to leave blank. If you want instant, obviously if you want to start later on, you would do that. We want the max number of new leads reached per day to 10% of the total number of leads. So if we have a list of 5,000 prospects, we want to put this to 10% times 5,000, which is 500. I put 5,000 there if I had a 50,000 list. Cool. So we want to set up the campaign settings. So we want to stop sending messages when your lead replies to a message. We shouldn't track opens so we should track opens for the first week, and then if the open rate is good, which is usually about 50%, but really depends on your niche and where you got the list from, etc., then we want to turn off tracking since it improves deliverability. So we don't want to track any link clicks, and we want to prioritize the sending pattern to 50% follow-ups and 50% new leads. And then we want intelligent AI lead categorization. So we want to select the categories: interested, not interested, do not contact, and out of office. Ignore the auto-categorized out of office reply from the reply percentage. So the reason why is because Smart Lead literally has an AI tool that can categorize leads depending on their replies. They have a few other ones like information request or meeting request, but from my experience, it's not 100% accurate, and you could really burn leads if you don't get it right. So what I do is I have an interested, and then I can have a subsequence later on. Cool. So this is how it should kind of look like. Then you can go ahead and launch your campaign. So a bonus step is how to optimize your cold email results is to have a social and company presence, get good at response handling, and use a proven sales process. So we want to have a social media and company presence. To have that, we need to have a good landing page, a video sales letter with your face in it. You want to have case studies and video testimonials. We also want to have an optimized social media profiles with posts of quality content And if possible, set up Google My Business reviews or any other PR type reviews. Yeah, if you want to see a good landing page, look at mine. I paid a decent amount of money for that. So yeah, you can literally just copy the exact same framework. Next thing you can do is get good at response handling. So we want to use multi-channel outreach. We want to send them a DM, engage with their content. We want to warm call positive replies. So if someone replies positively to our cold emails, literally call them up. We also want to reply in less than 5 minutes after every response, because the warmer they are is when, they get colder over time. So we want to follow up until you get a clear yes or no. Pretty self-explanatory there. And then we want to use automated subsequences so we don't have to manually follow up. So we want to use webhooks and automations to get notified when a lead does reply. And the last thing we want is to have a proven sales process. So we want to use a scheduling software tool like Calendly to book in calls. We want to have a pre-call flow with email and SMS reminders. You want to have a thank you page and a VSL on that thank you page for leads who book a call. We want to send case studies to your leads before the call and after they book. And we want to use a CRM to track and manage leads. We want to take sales meetings through a video call and have a sales script and stick to its process no matter what. So you're not, testing too much and it's not a sales issue. So yeah, that's pretty much a summary of this. And so if you wanted to apply to work with us, Conquered Leads is our company, which is a done-for-you lead gen company and helps marketing agencies and B2B companies book more sales meetings on their calendar on a complete performance basis through cold email outreach. So if you feel like you don't generate enough leads, you only get clients from referrals, there's high competition in saturated markets, and it's difficult to reach out to the decision makers of your ideal clients, then Conquered Leads is for you. Cool, that's it for this video training. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'm very excited for you to get results by setting up your cold email infrastructure. Peace.